102 FM and streaming live on power102fm.com.
Family, have a blessed one, my brother. Respect and love. You know? And enjoy your Diwali. Yeah. Everybody, family, make sure
Happy
you eat
Diwali.
some curry. Eh?
Oh yeah,
Right, nice.
for sure.
And no double say go by Raj and eat curry. Nice.
Well, thank you for staying there with us on Power 102.1 FM and a very special nighttime greetings to you. Special thanks as always to 9 Mars International. Well, bringing over time, it's now 8 minutes after 9 o'clock, and we do welcome you to Trinidad and Tobago #1 nighttime program when it comes to sex education. Sexplosion with the only sexologist in the Calvin, Dr. Raj of Total Imaging at the Adult Therapy Center, and there he treats all sexual dysfunctions in both male and female. Well, a very special nighttime greetings to you, my brother. How are you
Pleasant
today?
good evening to you. Pleasant good night to everyone out there. Well, if you want to say good night or good evening, whatever. And we're here to talk about things related to relationship, sex, and other things.
Yeah, and it's a Friday evening.
One of those quiet Friday evenings, and I must apologize for those of you who are listening on the radio for the poor quality of sounds that you're getting. Those of you on Facebook and Instagram, and those of you who are on the internet, you're getting a better quality of sound. It has nothing to do with us in the studio. It has to do with the repeater.
Yeah. But as a matter of
So
fact,
we're trying to work on it right now. So if you're getting a poor quality of sound, our apologies for that. But the show must go on,
Yes,
as they say.
yes, the show must go.
Yes. So how have you been?
Well, I've been all right. I haven't seen you for the last couple of days.
Yeah, I know.
I
Busy.
missed you.
Busy
Well, I know
time.
you're a bit tied up. I know the family. I won't go further, but I know you're having a ball.
You know that.
I
Why
know.
everybody telling me that? But I can't understand why
I
people are
know-
telling me that.
I know that for a fact.
Oh, you know that for a
Oh,
fact.
yes, yes.
Uh-huh. I hear you.
But it's nice to see, as always. I look forward sitting here with you every Friday evening.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
You know, you are just not family. You're family.
Lee.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that. Same applies here.
Yeah. So what have you been doing the last couple of days? That's
Very busy with my grandson. He's visiting. Yesterday was his birthday, and we had a wonderful birthday party for him. I have to say thank you very much to Nigel Salikram, who came and do the entertainment for him. Nigel does a puppeteering with ventriloquism and singing and other things that went very well with him. And I was surprised my grandson didn't want to go to sleep. He's supposed to go to sleep at 6:30 and he was up till about 8:30.
But, I mean, this is good. You're grooming him well as a
Me?
mother.
No. His mommy and daddy was scared that he would be given trouble.
You're grooming him well as a matter of
But
fact.
it went well, and I'm having a good time with him. And of course, you know, Diwali is on Sunday. Well, we wouldn't be celebrating Diwali in the traditional sense because of the death in the family, but we would be doing whatever little we can do, and that's that.
I thought about that, eh?
Yeah.
I thought about
Yeah, we
that.
don't celebrate when there's a death in the
The
family.
minute, because I could recall a couple of years ago when your sister passed away.
That wasn't a couple of years ago. That was about 10 years ago.
Well,
It's,
you know,
it's,
a
that,
couple.
it's that long.
A couple of couples.
Yeah.
But is it a traditional thing that when there's a death?
Yeah, when there's death to someone related closely to the family, like a mother, father, brother, sister, you don't celebrate Diwali really. So, because Diwali is a celebration for us in Trinidad, for us Sanatanis Hindus and for who are Ramanandis. It is a celebration, but it is a celebration, it's an auspicious celebration. When you're in mourning, you're not required to do certain things.
Okay.
So once you have the understanding of that, you know your limitations and you know what you can do. But of course, I could come here and talk about sex because sex is my profession,
Well,
and that's the good thing about Sanatan Dharma. You know,
Well, this
whatever is your job, you got to do your job.
Yeah.
You got to do your job. So if you are a person with a poultry or a bar, you'll still open your bar.
Okay.
You'll still sell your chicken. You don't have to stay away from what you do. Your job is your job.
I never thought about it like that.
No,
That
there are
is-
some persons who go to the extreme and will not do it and whatnot, but you are allowed to do your job. As a matter of fact, I can remember once I was the manager of a very famous band, Triveni with Brass, and Shivratri fell on the night, I think it was Carnival Sunday night, and I was there with the band and doing all what I was supposed to do with the band because I was the manager. And around 8 o'clock, I handed the captain of the band all the envelopes for the guys to get paid and whatnot. And I told him, I said, I'm leaving. He said, but where are you leaving? I'm going. I said, to the temple. I have to go do what I have to do tonight is Shivratri. And he was like, you serious? He said, that's why I wasn't eating food all day. I said, yeah.
Wow.
I said, I have to do my job. My job is to manage the band, but when I have to do my religious part, I go and do my religious part. And you could divorce. If you have the mind for it, you could divorce yourself from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I will continue with my profession. I mean, I'm a sexologist and I see people for sex therapy and whatnot. Up to tomorrow, I'll be doing my job.
But just
In the
say-
traditional sense, if I was fasting, I'll do my job up to the day before, and when I have to do whatever I have to do, I know what I have to do for my personal cleansing and what I got to do. Some person takes it to the extreme, some person don't, and again, Sanatan Dharma allows you to do that. As a matter of fact, there are some areas in India where the people eat meat to celebrate Diwali because it's not a religious festival.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In Trinidad, it is a religious festival. That's why you have Ram Leela and all those things leading up to it. And some people will wonder, well, how come you could do that? If you celebrate Diwali simply as a celebration, you could do whatever you do to celebrate. You could drink daru, you could eat meat, you could do whatever you want to celebrate. But if you are a Sanatanist Hindu and you celebrate it for what it is really for, you abstain and you do what you have to do for your cleansing process and whatnot.
Okay.
That's why when you go to a Diwali celebration anywhere in Trinidad, from Noratam leading up into Diwali, and as a matter of fact, 2 weeks prior to that, you have what you call Pitrapak. People don't eat meat, they start fasting. So it's like about a month or two before Diwali actually comes along. And when Diwali is done, it's not done to Sunday, it's finished, it's 5 days after that. So if you want to be strict to the rules, you'll go all the way till 5 days after that. Yeah, so.
Very interesting. You see how much I
And then after that, there's something called Kartik also. But
Yeah.
again, like my father-in-law always say, if you want to be a true Hindu, in the sense of following all the rites and rituals of it, you'll stop eating meat altogether. But anyway, not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about sex. Well, not only sex, we're here to talk about relationship. And tonight I want to touch on what I've been observing in society and what I've been seeing over the years, and this sort of breakdown that we have with the nucleus of the home, the nuclear family, the extended family, the husband and wife. Lots of times now you see young couples getting married for the wrong reasons and they're not staying in the relationship. You see people getting involved in things in their relationship that are not part of what they should be doing. They take the wrong approach to doing things, and there's a general breakdown. And sometimes a person will say, well, if we have a child, maybe things will change. If we move out and get our own home, maybe things will change. But no matter where you are and what circumstances you find yourself in, if you don't make your marriage work, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
But the thing you mentioned, and you rightfully say, I don't know why, but the first thing that pops into parents' minds is that children is important. They tell the big difference when a marriage seems to be going down the drain.
Well, they use that as a bonding agent for the husband and wife to stay together. That if you have a child, you'll focus your love on the child and you'll start mending your relationship. But 90% of the time that doesn't work. Because if your relationship is deteriorating, a child is not going to make things better. As a matter of fact, it's not as easy to have a child now as it was in the past. In the past, you'll have your extended family helping you out with the child. You would have, things were different. Life was different. Rearing a child was different. You didn't have to worry about, human trafficking, and you didn't have to worry about things that we worry about now. Right? And it was much cheaper to maintain a child long ago. Now it's very expensive. So if you're having problems with your spouse based on finances, you think a child is going to come and solve that problem? No way. No way. So a lot of times people tell me they want to have a child, and when I ask them the reason why they want to have a child, they give me the wrong reason, but I can't tell them it's the wrong reason. I will try to get them to think along the lines or to rethink their position and say, here what? This is not the perfect reason for having a child. Not that there's a perfect reason, but if things are going well and you're settled and you enjoy each other company and you have developed your relationship to a point where now you could bring a life into your relationship, another life into your relationship. And lots of time, men tend to see their women differently when they get pregnant because there's a physical change that is taking place in front of you. So if you fall in love with a woman who is, let's say, 150 pounds or 120 pounds, she's going to put on another 20 pounds. 10 to 20 pounds, she's going to put that on. And this will be a change in the physical appearance of the person. Now, some persons it affects them psychologically, that there is a change, there's this tremendous change in the physical appearance of my loved one, the person that I love or the person that I care for. So if there's a physical change, am I still in love with this person based on the physical appearance? And lots of time the physical appearance is a turn off for some guys.
Yes.
That's one. Two, if you have a body type in your mind that turns you on psychologically, when that change come about, you are now thinking about this person is the mother of my child, and I will not be able to do the things that I want to do. Am I going to hurt the fetus in the womb while I'm having sex? And a lot of things comes into play, and you will not be treating the woman the very same way. As a matter of fact, you're walking on eggshells all the time because, of course, there are hormonal changes that takes place in the woman. There are things that are going to change with the woman that you may not like and you may not be able to adapt to.
Well, one of the common things, especially if a woman is pregnant, what happens most of the times, their spouse, with basically gentlemen, would figure that having sex while being pregnant, I might hurt the child here.
Right. That's one of the things that we think about, and that is impossible. You cannot do that. The penis reaches nowhere near the womb. It reaches nowhere near the child, so you cannot hurt the child. But if you're thinking about the size of your penis, and maybe I'll do that, well, that's psychologically, that's how you're thinking. But let's put that aside. Would the woman still turn you on? Because the position that you can have sex in will change. Because there are some positions that the woman will not be able to have sex in. There are some positions that there are some women who cannot have sex during pregnancy. It all depends on what your doctor says. I have had many persons call me and say, my wife is in her third trimester, should we still be having sex? And my thing is that you talk to your OBGYN. I cannot advise you whether you should or should not have sex. Because if something goes wrong, you're going to say, Dr. Raj said it was okay to have sex.
Yeah.
And I cannot take that responsibility. Your OBGYN will know whether you can have sex or not, whether it is okay for your wife to engage in sexual intercourse, and if she can engage in sexual intercourse, the position that she could engage in sexual intercourse with. So you have to have that at the back of your mind whenever you're going to do things, right? So the advice would come from your OBGYN, your gynecologist. But the man, because of that physical change that is taking place and the changes that will take place because based on the hormonal changes with the woman, he starts to have anxiety going home, facing that woman. Some men are not as loving as they should be when it comes to that pregnancy issue. They are intimidated by it. They don't adapt to it properly. So that could cause a friction in the marriage. So if you already had a friction coming up to the point where the wife gets pregnant, now there's planned pregnancy. Before, pregnancy used to just come about. Now, because people are working and both parties are breadwinners and whatnot, you have to plan your pregnancy, and you'll say, well, 2 years into the marriage, we'll bring a child into the world, or 3 years into the marriage, let's give us some time. Sometimes you may be courting before the marriage, and you say, well, we still need to have a little time together to enjoy marriage. Fine, that is great. As a matter of fact, I don't think you should rush into parenthood as soon as you get married. At least spend a year getting to know one another, little quirks and whatnot that you have, and work those things out. If you have issues with one another that is going to hamper your relationship, work those things out also. But how many times we do it? How many times we get that kind of guidance? Sometimes, and now there's something called parental pressure or peer pressure when, somebody will ask you, what, you're shooting blanks, or how come your wife is pregnant yet? Now that is nothing to tell someone. The other day I was watching a news segment, and there was this interview at the Divali Nagar, and the guy who was doing the interview, which I know him since he was a child because he's a good friend with Rudy. They went to school together. He asked this couple that he saw there, when is the wedding? And they were like, not in a long time. But that's not something you ask someone, because you don't know the circumstances by which they are together. It could be brothers and sisters. It could be a cousin to cousins together. And they were embarrassed by the question. So you don't ask just because you see a boy with a girl, ask them, well, when is the wedding? That's something you don't ask. Even if you see someone, they're courting and they engage, you don't ask them when is the wedding, because you're putting pressure on them. So it's the very same thing when you see a couple that get married, you don't ask them, well, when are we getting a grandchild? When are we getting somebody to play with?
Rightfully so.
You don't do that, because what you're going to do, you're going to put up additional pressure on the person, and you don't know the circumstances of their relationship and what they're going through. So why put that type of pressure on them? And then they will start reacting to that. So let's take a break. When we come back, we'll discuss it further.
Well, taking your time, it's now 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. You are on the very inside of Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM. The only sexologist, Dr. Raj, of Total Image, and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located out at St. Augustine. We will take that break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Join Chatak Food Products as we celebrate Diwali, the Festival of Lights. Chatak and Power 102 FM wants you to share your recipes using the Chatak products. Submit your recipe to Power 102 FM recipe page on www.power102fm.com from the 1st to the 27th of October. Each week, one lucky person will win a Chatak hamper filled with Chatak products, including their curry paste made from local herbs and spices such as shadow belly, Spanish thyme, side, ginger, and pimentos, prepared with you in mind. Chatak curry paste allows you the experience of how to bonjay a pot and hear the sound. True experience of a real curry. So make your kitchen a Chatak kitchen with us this Diwali. Happy Diwali from Chatak Food Products.
This is Healthy Living for those that want a better state of life. Tuesdays from 2 p.m. with Stanley Augustus.
Thanks for having me,
Absolutely.
Mr. Augustus and Aisha.
Yes.
It is a pleasure being here.
Healthy choices for better life.
I want you to walk me through that, yes.
Healthy Living, Tuesdays from 2 p.m. with Stanley Augustus. Being brought to you in part by Himalaya. The best beer comes from nature. Healthy Living on Power 102. empowering you.
Before you act, think twice.
Think twice.
For a better quality of life.
Power 102 FM
And Boom 94 FM.
continue to advocate for and encourage better choices
When behind the wheel.
for a clean environment.
And now for personal wellness.
Introducing Think Twice Wellness.
Wellness is an active process and centers on becoming aware of and making choices toward a healthy and fulfilling life.
Wellness is more than being free from illness, but more so, it is a dynamic process of traveling on the path to change and growth.
Join us for daily tips on physical wellness,
Nutrition,
exercise,
disease and prevention,
emotional and psychological wellness,
happiness, self-care,
stress reduction, mental illness,
symptoms and prevention,
family wellness,
parenting,
relationships,
communication,
family dynamics, abuse,
financial wellness, savings.
budgeting, retirement, and so much more.
Think Twice Wellness
Think twice. Wellness.
for a better quality of life. Brought to you by Power 102
Boom 94.
in association with the Gillette Group of Companies
Himalaya. The best care comes from nature.
and Computer and Controls.
Think twice.
Think twice. Be the best version of you.
Introducing Izzo. News travels fast. In today's fast-paced world, access to accurate, up-to-date information 24/7 is essential to making critical decisions in your life. Izzo is the Caribbean's newest and most innovative news source, giving you a Caribbean perspective on politics, crime, business, sport, entertainment, technology, and special investigative features. Izzo. IZZSO. Izzo, your information source, designed for your lifestyle. Download the Izzo app for iOS and Android devices. And visit our website at www.izzo.com. Izzo. News travels fast.
Well, I can tell you that when it comes to sex education, we are always one step ahead. Right here on Power 2.1 FM, station that's reliable and effective. Well, here's where we give you the opportunity to interact with Dr. Raj live here in the studio. For those of you who might have something sexual on your mind and you need to get answers, well, this is the place to be. At this particular time, all you've got to do is give him a call at 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. If you do decide that you want to send him a WhatsApp of your message, you know, some of you might be a bit shy to hear yourselves on radio, even though we do not call your name. You can also do that on his private mobile at 740-1961. May I remind you that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance are therefore advised. Yeah.
Well, you know, we do have two South offices, with one in Princestown and one in DB.
Yeah.
Of course, during this period of fasting, which started, as I said, 6 weeks ago, a lot of persons who wanted to come to the adult store, they would stay away from it because part of their fasting would be to abstain from sex or anything sexual. But we did offer something called private shopping at the DB branch. And for those of you who are interested in private shopping, especially since Divali is finishing very soon, and all the fasting and whatnot will be done, and people are going into the Christmas season and the festive season and also the sexual season, you can call 366-5843. That number again is 366-5843, and ask for Savitri and make an appointment to go and do private shopping. So you don't have to go to the store during the regular opening hours. You can go outside of the regular opening hours and, you know, look at the items, get information on the items that you need, whether it be a pump, something to use personally, something to use with your partner, even to order stuff that you may have seen that you want to get to enhance your relationship. It is available. But some persons just don't like to walk in the store, and you know, they may be fearful that someone walks in and see them. So what they do is they make an appointment, they go in and they sit down, they sit with the person who is there, Savitri, who is there, and talk about something, and get advice, proper advice, whether it be supplements or whatnot. And of course, I'm there every Tuesday. And this Tuesday I will be there, although Monday is a holiday. I will be there this Tuesday at the Princestown branch and the San Fernando and the Dewey branch, for those who want to come to the South office to see me for their consultation and whatever else they're doing. There are lots of persons, and I must say, the response that we have gotten from South is tremendous.
Well, I can just imagine.
It is tremendous, and I'm very happy. Although this week you had a lot of persons canceling appointments because of the Diwali celebrations and whatnot, because sometimes you have to go out with your family, the Diwali Nagar, you have village type Diwali festivity and whatnot. So I understand that, and that's no big deal. So some of them would be coming in on Tuesday to do what they have to do, and that's something that we try to promote, and hopefully we could extend that to the Princestown branch, where we could have after hour shopping outside of the business hours and days shopping. So you can come on a Sunday, you can go on a day that it's not really a day that the store is open, so you can do your own private shopping.
Private comfort.
Yeah, private comfort. So remember to call 366-5843, ask for Savitri, and make your appointment to do your private shopping. And you can come from any part of Trinidad and do your private shopping at that branch, at those branch. Well, at that branch, especially the one in Davie.
Well, that's beautiful, because you have a lot of people that would love to get items, but just the main idea that they have people in and out, they are afraid because...
And one of the things that we're doing delivery service also. So somebody could call in and ask about a product. They can get a description about it, and it could be delivered to them. Of course, it must be a home address, so it's obviously somewhere that with the crime situation and whatnot, we must have a lot of information before you venture out.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
You have to be careful. So that is one thing that we are...
Before going further, I want to say a very special evening to a very special nighttime greetings to a beautiful lady I met today. I'm going to renew my ID card at Scott House, and I met a girl named Crystal.
Scott House is where?
That's on right by the Royal Jail there, Frederick, one of those streets right there. And I met a girl named Crystal who attended to me. A beautiful young lady. So if any
she
of
took
her
care of
friends,
you?
Oh yeah. So if any of her friends are listening, Crystal from the Scott House, a very special nighttime greetings to you. But just to remind you folks, once again, that our lines are open. If you would love to interact with Dr. Raj, 222-8255 and 612-8255. Those numbers again, 222-8255 and 612-8255. Sexplosion on this Friday evening with the guru of sex education.
Interesting question here. My partner and I agreed that we wouldn't have sex until we get married. But last night he kissed me in a way that made my vagina wet. I was upset because he knows I am easily aroused, and I found he was making it more difficult for me to maintain my control. I asked him not to kiss me like that again. Was I justified in getting irritated? Of course you are. If you are easily aroused and you know that you have made a pact not to get involved sexually, kissing is one of the things that leads to sex. So that should be off the table. I mean, I'm talking about intimate kiss.
Yes.
Kissing on the lips, something as a brief thing that you'll do when you meet someone or whatever, that's fine. But getting into intimate, deep kiss is not something I would recommend. And you are right to get irritated.
Okay, we're going to go to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Yes, Alan.
We made that announcement before. We are sorry about it. If you have our app, you can listen to us on the app, which is very good.
But yes, we're working.
Well, it's not in the studio. It's outside of our remit. But thank you very much for that.
Thanks for the update. Okay, family. Yeah. Yeah.
So, when you find yourself in a situation like that, where you have made a pact not to do certain things, you have to do everything around that will help you to maintain that. If you do things that are not going to help you to maintain it, you're going to have problems. You are going to have problems. So you should have thought about all those things before you made the pact. Prior to it. It's not an easy thing saying that I'm not going to have sex with somebody that you love, because once you're in the vicinity of the individual, they're going to turn you on. You cannot say you love a man or you love a woman and I'm not going to be turned on by them. Because what you're going to do, you're going to suppress a natural instinct and a natural feelings that you have, and it's only going to lead to problems later on.
Yeah, because you're going.
So once you have decided to not to be intimate with one another, you shouldn't even be together alone in a situation where you require that you touch the person, because it's going to lead to something else, especially if a woman is easily aroused.
Especially because you are going into it with a negative mind.
Well, you're going into it with a mindset that you're not going to get involved in something sexual. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. But once you have made that pact that I'm not going to get involved with my partner sexual, do not find yourself in any situation that will allow you to be sexual. I remember this joke that I heard once. There's this girl who was very loose in her ways when she was growing up, had many sexual partners and whatnot. So obviously she was very sexually active. So she will get wet very easily, and she will become very aroused, and her vagina will open up. So she met this guy, but she's telling the guy she never had sex. She's a virgin. She's madly in love with him, and but remember, she used to have sex before, and she loves sex. So one day now, they've been intimate, they're petting and they're kissing and whatnot, and every time he asks her for sex, she'll say no. Each time he asks her, she's getting hotter and hotter, and she wants to have sex. So he tells her, he said, I promise, I'll just put in the head alone. She said, promise me? You promise me is on the head alone you'll put in, because she wants the sex. So he decided yes, she's going to give him the sex. So of course, he takes his penis, puts it in the vagina, the head goes in, and the sweetness take him, so a little more goes in, and she's whining there, and she's enjoying the sex because she loves to have sex, and he's all the way in, and he's going, and she's going, and he's going, and she's going, and she's like, yeah, she put in a little more. He said, I promise, I promise. I'm not putting in anymore. Man is all the way in here.
I'm telling you. You are listening to the magic of sex education on this Friday evening with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Imaging, the Adult Therapy Center. Just to remind you once again that our lines are open. If you would like to interact with Dr. Raj, feel free at 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. If you do decide that you want to send him a WhatsApp or a text message, you can also do that on his private mobile, 740-1961.
So it's one thing getting involved in a relationship and deciding that, hey, we're going to abstain until we get married and whatnot. But anyone will tell you, once you're in the vicinity of someone that you love, someone that you have feelings for, you're going to want to have sex. Sex is a natural instinct. And anytime you try to suppress that, no amount of prayers, no amount of meditation, no amount of anything is going to make you not want to have sex. And that's the beauty of being a human being. One of the things about being a human being is the sexual aspect of it. You want to have sex with the person that you're close to. That's why when you stop having sex in your relationship, that's an indication that things are growing apart.
But I'm glad you mentioned it. I want to ask you a question. When you see someone for the first time, does sex comes first to mind or love?
It depends on if you're lusting after the person, and the person is the kind of person that will turn you on sexually. Sex is the first thing that comes to mind. If it's someone that your eyes fall on and you are mesmerized by the person's beauty, and you don't get that sexual feeling, you fall in love. So you have to have the kind of mind to differentiate whether it's love I'm falling into or lust I'm falling into. And most of the time we fall into lust, and once you satisfy the physical attributes of it by having sex, there's no longer an attraction. So that's how you know it was just simply sex. The only time the attraction comes again is when you're horny. But when you're in love, you constantly feel and pain and want that person. That is love. But in sex, once the sexual satisfaction comes along, and that's done, you're physically satisfied, you don't think about the person along the same lines again until you get horny again. So that's the difference.
Yeah, but you know, it's difficult to know that you see someone, you like them on first seeing them, and you're thinking sex, but not thinking of falling in love with them.
Well, you don't. The physical part of it is the need to satisfy the sex, the physical attraction, and once the physical attraction is satisfied, the hell I wasn't in love with you. There was never anything like love. That's why I tell you, it's easy for women to fall in love and become emotionally attached than men are. Men are sexually attracted to any woman that looks good to them. And that's the reality of it. And you get horny when you see them. They have a nice legs, they have nice toes, they have a nice lip, whatever. The first thing you see in a woman lip, oh God, I wonder how that will look wrapped around my penis. Or how that lips will feel if you're kissing her. You're studying, boy, God, this woman nice. Boy, Lord, I could just spend the rest of my life with her. Yeah. According to a partner of mine, every woman he meet, he have no pension to get in his life, you know. Because every woman he meet and he wanted to go to bed with, he'd say, I could spend my pension on you. You could collect my pension, and after he done with, she's like, I have no pension to get.
Yeah.
But that's the physical attribute of it. And we are physical beings, and we think more along the lines of getting our sexual satisfaction over with. Once that is over with, love, what you tell me about love? There was no love in that. I lusted after you, your lips look nice, your buttocks look nice, your breasts look nice, and I wanted to get you naked and get to bed.
And that's it.
And what's wrong with that too? Some women will condemn that and say, well, men are nasty and men are dog, but that's who we are. We are physically attracted to the opposite sex or the same sex to have sex. That's why same-sex relationship is about sex. Mainly, it's not about love. Very few times you hear two men falling in love and wanting to get married and spend the rest of their life with, you know. It is a sexual attraction.
Yeah, but I'm glad you mentioned that as well. Because when you're thinking, as you mentioned, same parties involved in sex, their relationships never last as long as...
Because it's sexual. Women who fall in love with other women, it's not, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, I want to get you in bed, do a 69 with you, and I'm done with you. That's the reality of it. But when you talk, women will jump on the bandwagon and say it's not so and whatnot. But once you have the physical evidence to show that, by dealing with persons of same sex and whatnot, and you see the empirical evidence in front of you, they cannot deny that. So the natural law of attraction, which requires a man and a woman to come together to bring forth a child into the world, involves love and sex and whatnot. Right? To a greater extent than a same-sex relationship or a homosexual relationship. And that's the bottom line of it. And some people may not like me for saying that, but that's what it is. Most men who are gay, it's a sexual thing. It's a sexual attraction. They don't tell you about falling in love and wanting to spend the rest of their life with that person and oh God, they cannot live without the person and whatnot.
So basically it's a different relationship.
It's a different relationship.
Compared to a mixed relationship between a male and a female, or a female and a female and a man and a man.
Different relationship, mostly with homosexual relationship, lesbian relationship. It's a physical thing. Once the physical satisfaction is maintained and done, you're done with the person until you're horny again. That's what it is. That's why bisexualism is mostly about sex. It's not about wanting to marry a man and a woman and spend the rest of your life with a man and a woman. It's about sex.
That's the physical part.
The physical attraction, I'm not saying 100% it's like that, you know. There are a few, and they're very, very few, who are bisexual, trisexual, homosexual, lesbian, or whatever word you want to use, that it's about love and appreciation and wanting to spend the rest of your life with the person and growing old with the person and whatnot. Very few.
Anyway, folks, taking your time, it's now 16 minutes before 10 o'clock. You are listening to Sexplosion, Power 2.1 FM, with Sexologist Dr Raj of Total English and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at Sexologist. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
With the Power 102 app, social media, and website, Power 102 FM campaign 1441.
Never been an intention on the part of the Commission in fiscal 2019, but they require the requisite approvals.
Power 102 FM campaign 1441.
Talking about that, Dr Raj coming back to the
interviews.
No, you had it at a
given that we're in the Senate with the two ethnically based parties and so on, I take the pen and
Power 102 Digital, social media, and Power 102 FM Campaign 1441.
Regimes like these, they intimidate, they harass, they undermine professionals, intellectuals, academics, trade union leaders, civil society leaders, so you mute them.
Power 102 Digital, with the Power 102 app, social media, and Power102FM.com. Power102FM.com. Power 102 FM, Campaign 1441.
Are the problems and destructive anxieties of today tearing you apart? If there was ever a time to readjust your priorities and refocus your vision, it's now. Join Pastor Wayne Sampson on the Vision of Hope devotional program every Monday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. right here on Power 102 FM. Jesus is the only one who can give you peace in the midst of today's storm.
Do you think that you have a winning Diwali recipe that costs under $100? Well, then Shatak Food Products wants you to share your recipes using Shatak products for a chance to be a winner. Get the details and rules and entries at power2fm.com, and you can enter until the 27th of October. Win weekly Shatak's hampers to add to your sweet hand. Go to power2fm.com, click on the Diwali recipes banner, and find out how to enter. Well, bringing on time, it's now 14 minutes before 10 o'clock. Nobody does better what we do best when it comes to a Friday evening. Right here on Power 2.1 FM, Sexplosion, with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Those of you who would love to interact with him via the telephone, feel free. Our lines are open and we are waiting for your calls. 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. You are listening to a program that deals with sex, love, and relationships exclusively on Power 2.1 FM, a station that's reliable and effective.
Even the LBGT community, that's not discussed, and they know it's true. They know it's true. They know that, although some of them are in your face kind of thing, but they have to come to the realization that they cannot exist without a heterosexual relationship. It's a man and a woman that brings them into the world, but they are more involved in it for the sexual part of it.
Physical part.
Yeah, and because they are wired that way. It's a wiring. It's a sexual wiring, more than anything else. And that sexual wiring is more emotional and psychological when it comes to those individuals that are wired that way. And if you want to study it and study it properly, just think about the bisexual community.
Okay, we go to the lines. Thank you for holding. And okay, that person left us 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. Yeah.
So one only has to look at that idea of it, that area of it, where it involves the sexual relationship, the physical relationship, to have a better understanding of it. And even those who are involved in it do not analyze it to the point to realize that it is more a physical thing than an emotional thing. So when I get back to the men in our society who are wired to think as men, the men who are performing the role of a man, you cannot tell me in the role of a man that you don't see someone that you lust after. You don't see someone that you want to have sex with. You cannot tell me it is like that. If you're telling me it is like that, then something is wrong. Because once you are involved sexually, once you are behaving like a man in a human way, you will come across women that will turn you on.
Okay, we go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Hi.
I want to ask Doctor a question. What is going on like sex assault?
That is erectile dysfunction. That means that either his testosterone levels or his hormone levels has dropped. Sometimes it's because of the type of stimulation. He's not getting enough stimulation from his partner or from himself. and that causes him to lose his erection. So it all depends on the person's age. Well, yes, center soft means losing an erection. What do you think erection is?
I don't think
Well, right. So I'm giving you the answer.
Well, right. Why think? I don't think that.
Well, I'm giving you the answer if you listen.
Okay, I'll listen.
So, if you are not stimulated enough, if you have a medical condition, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, you will get. I don't know what you have, sir. I'm just giving you all the things. You have to figure it out yourself. Okay? Okay. Good. Bye. I'm trying to answer his question. If you have all these things happening to you, the aging process, if you don't get enough sleep, if you work in a chemical environment, if your hormone levels drop, these are the things that are going to cause you to have erectile dysfunction, which is what he's describing as center soft. I am not using the word center soft because center soft is one of the conditions of erectile dysfunction. So if you can understand that and you're ignorant, the hell was it him?
Just to remind you once again that you are on the inside of Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Don't forget our lines are open if you'd love chatting with Dr. Raj at 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. Yeah.
You know, the amazing thing about it is that a lot of people, when they ask you the question, they're looking for something, they're trying to figure out, well, what's wrong with them. But all the things that you're telling them, they don't want to pinpoint only one thing that is affecting them. You know, for example, a bad relationship. For example, not having sex. For example, having an injury, a spinal injury or circulatory problem. So, you come across that kind of crap all the time with people. They come and sit in front of you and they want to tell you how to do your job. They're asking you if I help you, no, but they want to tell you how to do your job. It's like, okay.
Well, I can tell you we are taking sex education to a whole new level exclusively on Power 2.1 FM every Friday evening, right here with Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Nobody does better what we do best when it comes to sex education. May I remind you once again, due to the mature subject of this program, parental guidance are there for advice. Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM.
So, getting back to what we were talking about. Because men, and I mean men who are fulfilling their role as a man, meaning all things being equal and they have those feelings and they don't have a center soft problem and whatnot, they will feel, even if you have a center soft problem, even if you have a erectile dysfunction problem, you will still want to have sex with a woman that turns you on. Sex will be the first thing that comes to your mind. So despite the fact that you're married, you have children, you are happy in your marriage, you will still want to have sex with someone else. That's how you're wired. And I dare women out there who are functioning properly as a woman to tell me that don't happen to them. It's just that they like to play high and mighty. Women like to play that role of being better than men. And they are high and mighty and they're better than men and they don't have the same feeling. No, you do not have the same feeling as men, but you do have feelings. And if you are a human being, and this is what is very important to understand this whole thing about sexuality. Sexuality for human beings is much different from sexuality with animals. Animals need that pheromones to be stimulated or to want to have sex. We don't.
Just jump into it.
It's our brain that triggers off the act of sex.
Okay, we're going to go back to the lines. Thank you for holding and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Good evening. Doctor, as you pointed out, I was thinking about it because she just was a mother. So we don't have natural feelings, the temptation to resist. And imagining we have perfect man, so kind of women who can be themselves daily. We had to resist. People don't like to deal with the truth.
So you think he was the only perfect man? There are plenty of people out there who don't have sex, but that doesn't make you the perfect man. He cannot say he was the perfect man because he was never married to a woman and show how to be a husband or a father. So don't tell me he was the perfect man. Then you are brainwashed into thinking that is the perfect man. The perfect man, because if God sent you here to go forth and multiply or get married according to religious doctrine, he was never a perfect man. Because he never got married, he never took care of a wife, and he never took care of children. So you're not a perfect man. The perfect man takes care of a wife and takes care of children. So caller, get your facts straight. When I tell people these things, they get angry. They feel it's religion that you're talking. But you cannot say he was the perfect man when he never acted the role of a man. Understand that. That's why when you talk about Ram and Sita, that was a couple. And they show you what a couple will do together, the things that they go through, the trials and tribulation. A lot of people don't know the backstory to the Ramayana. When Ram and Sita had 2 children, Love and Kush, and he went back into Ayodhya with his wife, he transformed himself into an ordinary man. He was the king of Ayodhya, and he put on ordinary clothes because of something that somebody told him. And he went and he started listening to the people. And you know what the people were saying? There was a man arguing with his wife who went out late and come back home late. And you know what he told his wife? You feel like it's Ram to take you back? And when he heard that, you know what he did to his wife? He tell her that we cannot live together anymore. You have to go into the forest and live. How many people know the backstory to the Ramayana? He said you have to live. He sent her to live by his guru in the forest with the 2 children. Although he was the king of Ayodhya, he had to set an example because the people in the village were saying things about him behind his back. And he shows you what a man has to do. He had to go to war to get back his wife. But at the same time, when he hears somebody saying, you think guys, Ram, I'm going to take you back? You was out whole night, I don't know where you was. He went back and tell his wife, he said, pack up your bundle and go. And she knew that had to happen. That is what a perfect man does. He didn't go against his kingdom or against his people. So don't tell me a man who has never had a wife and never showed you what family life is all about is a perfect man. He is not. And don't tell me, and you know the worst thing about it is when somebody say, well, strive to be like him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
How the hell I want to strive to be like him? I want to have a wife, I want to have children. White people can't understand that. Life is practical, you know. It is not theoretical. It is practical. Now, if you are sannyas, there's something called sannyasi in Hinduism. If I choose to be a sannyas, do you know what I have to do? I have to renounce everything. Do you know why they wear saffron robes? That's why Jesus came back in saffron robes, you know. When Jesus disappeared for 14 years and he went to India, which a lot of people don't like to accept, but it is a fact. He came back in saffron robe. He left in clothing, but he came back in saffron robe. When you take the life of a sannyas, it means you renounce everything. Man, woman, child, everything. Money, everything. All you have is the chappal on your foot, which is a slipper. That's why Gandhi gave India independence and refused to be the Prime Minister of India. Because he renounced everything. He renounced everything. He didn't take the saffron robe because he didn't live the life of aesthetic. But those who become sannyas and they go into the forest, they have to go into the forest where there's no woman passing, you know. Because one of the things it teaches you is that a woman can distract you very easily, you know. Get away from all women. They prefer to go and live with animals than to live with women, you know. They don't want to see a woman in front of them. Now that is a fact. When you want to be a sannyas and live that life, you have to go away from everything. You have to go into the forest. You have to go up on the Himalayas. There's still hundreds of thousands of them living up there. And the only time they come down is for the Kumbh Mela. 12 years. Every 12 years they come down. Right? To go to the Ganges, get the water, and they go back up. And they're in perpetual meditation. But that's the life of a sannyas. They choose that. You think I want to be a sannyas? You think I want to be a brahmachari? No, I can't. I don't want that. But that doesn't make you a perfect man, because they'll tell you they're not a perfect man. They are there to perform a role. And that's what they're there for. The manhood, and being a man, and doing things that are manly, are the things that you are sent for, which is to recreate yourself, to bring children into the world, but not only to bring children into the world and not take care of them. You have a lot of man who make children, but they're not men. They're not fathers. They make children all over the place, but they don't take care of their child. They don't spend time. Their child never sat on their lap. They have never taught their child the good and bad in life. So how are you a man? Because you have 12 children?
We're gonna very interesting. We go back to the lines. Hello and thank you for holding and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Hello. Hi, good evening.
Yeah. Yeah, Raj, this is for the center also. Right? So can you get, I want to...
You look like you're drunk, Brett.
Right? Right. You understand? I don't...
You look like you're drunk. Bye. When you get sober, call back the program. Right. So if you understand that, and the role of a man is not simply to go out, I'm talking about manliness means that you will be turned on by women. It doesn't mean to say that you have to jump on every woman back or on top of every woman and have sex. But that's part of being a man. You'll get those feelings. Yeah. That is right. Right? Now, if you choose to be away from that, you have to be away from all women. The monks in the monastery and whatnot in Tibet and China and India and whatnot, you feel have any women up there? Have you ever thought about why they don't have women there? If you want to renounce everything in life, the first thing you have to renounce is that law of attraction. You have to renounce that law of attraction to the opposite sex. That is not an easy thing to do.
No, not easy at all.
But they have a role and function in society, not to teach us about being a father, or being a good husband, or being a good man. Their role is for spirituality and the balancing of the world. Their role is much deeper than we could ever understand. You know? These monks and sannyasis and brahmacharis and whatnot, right? Them saints and sages, what we call the rishis and the munis. They go up into the mountain to balance this world, you know, to keep this world in equilibrium, you know. Otherwise, a lot of things could befall us. But we don't understand that. We don't live in that realm. We live in the realm of you see a woman, you like she, you get married, you have children, you take care of your children, you send them to school. That is the role and function of a man as a parent. How many men have become a man as a parent? In our society, there are men, and one time I was talking to a client, and I said, how many children you have? He said he had 32 children. I say, so you grew up all 32? Nah, well, 2 of them in Tobago, 1 of them. You're not a man in my book. Having 32 children doesn't make you a man. Because you never took care of your children. I know many persons I've known who don't even want to hear about their fathers.
Oh, yeah.
Because their father never played the role of a father to take care of them as a child.
Yeah.
Show them how to hold a fishing rod, or how to hold a bat, or how to kick a ball, or how to play hopscotch, and nothing. How to draw box to play hopscotch. You can't tell me as a man you don't know how to do that. Because there's boxes you have to draw in the ground, and men are supposed to be able to know angles and draw boxes. So don't tell me you can't do that.
That's a common thing.
No, it's not common for some men because they've never done it. They have never done it, Junior, so how it common for them?
No, it's a common thing to do.
To be as a man.
Yeah, to be as a man. Yeah.
Right, but the point is that you have men who are not men. They're human beings who have male features, but they're not men.
They don't stand up.
Because they go to the base instinct of wanting to have sex with as many women as they could, and impregnating as many women as they could, and not having the responsibility of taking care of the child. And you know what is the failure in society? The failure in society is the women who allow them to do that. And the women who think that if I have a child for you and I go and check Raj, and I have a child for Raj go mind the 2 children.
Yeah.
Now there are some Rajas out there who will do it. But there are some who will say, no, the hell was with you, let have a child and I go on my way too.
Yeah. Okay, what we are going to do is go back to the lines. Just to remind you that you are listening to Sexplosion with Dr. Raj running in on this Friday evening, right here on Power 2.1 FM. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found my video I in the pause.
Blessings.
Long time.
And I dare someone to say that rain is not blessings. It's an auspicious time, and it is a time of that, and it's the time of the year that you will get rain. So if you can't understand that Diwali falls in this month, I think it's the month of Phalgun, yeah. Well, that's in the cusp of Phalgun. You have rain. And if you can't understand that, well, then you don't understand the weather patterns.
It's like,
and you will get blessings.
It's like the Catholic religion, Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi. Rain always falls on Corpus Christi.
Falls in Corpus Christi.
Right, because of the time of the year.
Yeah.
It is expected that that will happen. That's why every full moon, 3 days after full moon, you'll get rain.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, folks, taking our turn, it's now 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM. The guru of sex education, Dr. Raj Brahmanan, of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, located out at St. Augustine. Don't forget our lines are open if you would love interacting with Dr. Raj live here in studio. All you've got to do is give him a call at 222-8255, also at 612-8255. If you do decide that you want to send him a WhatsApp or a text message of your question, well, feel free. You can also do that on his private mobile 740-1961. Now, remind you that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance are there for advice. Yeah.
And for many Sanatanists Hindu, for that person you call and ask, and I know why you ask the question. A lot of people will be happy when rain falls. They say, yeah, let's wash out them Indian deer. But we love when rain falls. It is blessings. There are many Sanatanists Hindus who get who they feel hurt if rain don't fall. Yeah. They feel hurt if rain don't fall. Because it is expected.
As you basically mentioned, it's a blessing. Okay, what we are going to do is go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion.
Good evening.
Hi.
I want to know.
Good evening.
Could you just pull the volume down?
You need to pull the volume down because we are getting feedback in the studio.
I'm 75 years of age.
Uh-huh.
And I was found for 40 years.
40 years of age?
Yeah, I can't get any sex with girls. That could be corrected.
You cannot get any sex?
No, it could be corrected.
Well, do you get any sort of erection at all?
No.
No erection?
No, I'm a diabetic.
Well, if you are diabetic, it's very challenging. For are you type 1 or type 2 diabetic?
Type 2, I think.
What you taking?
I use metformin.
Okay, type 2, yeah. All right. In a situation like that, it will be very challenging, but there are things that you can do to see if your body is going to react. At 75, your age will be a factor, of course. So it's not just taking one thing and hoping that you're going to react. It's taking a treatment over a period of time to see how your body is going to react.
I can get a treatment from you?
Yes, of course. That's what I do. Call 645 4543
All right.
and make an appointment.
All right.
Well, thank you for calling. Just to remind you that our lines are open for those of you who would love to interact with Dr. Raj. Very simple. You can give him a call at 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. You're listening to a program that's informative, educational, and of course entertaining exclusively on your number one on the Raj station. Power 102 FM, a station that's reliable and effective. Yeah.
You know, there's a saying that one man garbage is the next man riches.
Yes.
Same thing with when somebody think that something is bad for you, it might be very good.
Yeah.
For example, if you're a farmer, rain is very good. Yeah. If you want to plant, you need rain. If you don't have rain, you have a problem.
Yeah, you will lose all your crops.
You will not even have grow crops.
Yeah.
So,
and as you rightfully mentioned, rain is basically a blessing any way you look at it. So, what I can tell you, we are taking sex education to a whole new level. You are making radio an experience by itself when you listen to Sexplosion on Power 102 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Okay. Yeah.
And what's your point? What's your point? That's when somebody is trying to provoke.
To insinuate something. Is that the right word?
Eh?
To insinuate.
To provoke. To provoke. Trying to provoke.
So we have one caller dealing with darkness, and we had one caller dealing with rain.
Same caller, not one caller.
Oh,
same caller.
Same
God,
right.
listen to that.
I'll tell you, this is what it's all about. Nobody does better what we do best when it comes to sex education. When you're on Power 2.1 FM, you are making radio an experience by itself, knowledge and experience. This is what it's all about when you are on the inside of Sexplosion. Don't forget our lines are open if you would love chatting with Dr. Raj. 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. Yeah.
You know, it's like when somebody condemning an individual. For example, a woman who likes sex or a woman who has multiple partners or whatnot, for going to a church, a temple, or a mosque. Well, did God say you can't pray if you like sex? Is that written anywhere that you cannot? Did Mary Magdalena spend time with Jesus Christ, despite the fact that she was a prostitute?
Yeah.
Well, the point is that we like to judge people. We like doing that. We like to cast aspersions on people and whatnot. It's like, you know, sometimes when somebody sees me in a religious function, it's like, Dr. Raj, what are you doing here? My question is always, what the hell are you doing here? You shouldn't be here with a mind like that. In my mind, I don't say it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But, so I can be in a religious function.
They don't expect you to be in a religious
No, they feel that you're not supposed to be there because you don't qualify.
Oh.
But I may be more qualified than them to be there.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Because they are looking at you from one angle, eh?
And they don't realize that you can be three-dimensional as a human being.
Yeah.
There are many aspects of a person. It's like a person being selling poultry, right? Which is selling meat and fish and what? Selling chicken and duck and whatnot. And going to a temple. Nothing debars you from going to the temple except your mind. If you think you're unclean and you shouldn't be going, then you are unclean.
Yeah.
Then you think you're unclean. God, I say you're unclean. He or she never said that.
No.
So that's where the problem comes in, how people think about themselves and how they see themselves, even as the role as a parent. If you don't see yourself as in the role of a parent and having a child and taking care of your child or children, you will never do that. You'll just become a sperm donor.
Well, I can tell you that we do practice what we preach when it comes to sex education, right here on Power 2.1 FM, Sexplosion, with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Power 102 FM Digital with the Power 102 app, social media, and website. Power 102 FM Campaign 1441.
There would have been an intention on the part of the Commission to employ people in fiscal 2019, but they require the requisite approvals.
Power 102 FM Campaign 1441 for 24/7 access to exclusive interviews.
I think that because given that things remain the same with the two ethnically based parties and so on, I think that
Power 102 Digital, app, social media, and Power 102 FM Campaign 1441.
Regimes cases like these, they intimidate, they harass, they undermine professionals, intellectuals, academics, trade union leaders, civil society leaders, so you mute them.
Power 102 Digital with the Power 102 app, social media, and power102fm.com. Power102fm.com. Power 102 FM, campaign 1441.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? La invitación es para este y todos los sábados al Bar Park, el Rincón Latino de Venezuela, en Trinidad y Tobago. Este y todos los sábados.
Oh yeah, congratulations to that one. That is well deserved.
Bar Park, el Rincón Latino en Trinidad, papá.
I was going to mention it just before that, after that last break.
Are you tired and fed up of poor working conditions, disrespect, and abuse by employers? Then join the State Police Association on a new program, the EPA Speaks, Breaking Chains, Raising Barriers, Wednesdays, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. on Power 2.1 FM, empowering you, a station that says it all.
It wasn't?
No, he said they were looking for.
Okay.
What I could tell you, this is what it's all about. When you are on the inside of Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM on this Friday evening, with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Our lines are open for those of you who would love chatting with him. Feel free. 222-8255. 612-8255. You know, some of you are very shy to hear your voices on radio. As a matter of fact, just to remind you that if you do call, you do not call names on air. So you can give him your private message on his private mobile 740-1961. You're listening to a program that deals with sex, love, and relationships exclusively on your number one all around the station. Power 2.1 FM. Nobody does better what we do best. And we go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Raj.
Good evening.
Yes, I wanted to, on behalf of the Secretary Carrie, I not a decision, but nothing to it, because it's very highly educated, where everything is like to the mind, the body, the soul, everything. I've educated myself in Buddhism, and I have reached a greater height, and I respect. But I want to say, there are a lot of people like it because of the OCD that, you know, different gods, and they have their own personal hatred for what Hinduism.
A lot of hate, yes.
It was, I mean, that wouldn't change. You can't change people's mind to what, how things.
That will never change. We don't want to change it.
Every day, all religions one thing, which is love. And you know, every religion, it has good in it, and you can learn from it. So people, see the hatred.
Well, I have to stop you there and correct you. All religions supposed to teach you that, but everyone hates Hindus.
Yes.
So there is no love in that. So don't, when people say those things, that is hypocrisy.
Okay, but I was trying to just for peace sake to say that, you know, people still look pretty good in it.
That will never happen, because you know why? Nobody likes the original of anything.
I respect that. That I was just trying to put it on air to let people know.
Yeah. We know that, and we know. Let me tell you something. True Sanatanist Hindus don't want to change nobody, you know. We have never converted a single person on this planet, you know.
I respect
because we cannot convert.
Yes.
We have never converted a single human being on this planet.
Right.
Just remember that.
Yes.
Okay? Good, thank you.
God bless you. Keep up the great work, and I love to hear your knowledge of wisdom when you speak. And I have to go on. And I always give it respect of the highest and knowledgeable to give me my word.
Thank you.
Okay, so enjoy your night. Thank you.
Same to you. My friend gets a hard penis, but not for long. He's 52 years old. Well, again, because of the aging process, the hormones in the body changes. So it's expected that as a man gets older, the majority of men, and I say the majority of men, will have some sort of erectile dysfunction. Especially if they drink alcohol, or they don't take care of themselves, or they have a disease or impediment or an ailment that will cause them to have that. I agree with you, Jesus did not complete his life as a man because he never had a woman. Okay. I am practical with what I say, and I don't say it with any hatred. I don't say it with, I say it with the fullest amount of respect, because I respect all. I go to all. I am comfortable anywhere. But the minute you attack me, or the minute you attack my belief, I become very defensive, and I am passionate about who I am. And nobody is going to change that. It's like somebody trying to take away my Trinidadianness from me, if there is such a word. I'm a Trini, and I'm passionate about being a Trinidadian. Full stop. Notice I didn't say Trinbagonian. I said a Trinidadian. So the day Tobago wants to go their separate way, my way is bye-bye. Nice having you. Go your way. Because I'm a Trinidadian. Full stop. Nothing else. And I'm passionate about that. Anybody who knows me from a young age knows when I was studying in university, I'll still talk my Trini talk with my Trini slang. And I always tell my friends, I am going back home to Trinidad. No matter where I go in the world, I am passionate about being a Trinidadian. That's why I'm proud when something of a Trinidad nature is #1 in the world. I am proud of that. If I could be proud of being a Trinidadian, I'm proud of my heritage, I'm proud of my religion, I'm proud of my culture, I'm proud of who I am. Don't try to take that away from me. It comes like somebody tell me, I'm coming and take away your Trinidad and Tobago citizenship, I'll take your life. I will. The person who comes to me and tell me that, I will take your life. Because in Sanatan Dharma, I'm allowed to do that because I'm a Kshatriya. And I'm allowed to take your life for that. The minute you try to take away a dish from a person, I could take your life for that. And that is committing no sin.
That's in history.
No, that is in our
belief.
In our religion. As a Kshatriya, anybody come to convert you, you could take their life. Yes. Because you are the defender of Dharma. A lot of Hindus don't even know that. They don't know the meaning behind their name. They don't know who they are. The defender of Sanatan Dharma are the Kshatriyas. And the Kshatriyas are allowed to take life in the defense of Dharma. Don't forget that, people. So the minute you come to change me, or change my Dharma, I could take your life. It might be against the law of the land, but not against the law of my Dharma. That is no sin I have not done. As a matter of fact, my karma goes up instead of down. I'm allowed to. Please remember that. And I wish a lot of Hindus who carry that Singh after their name remembers that.
Very interesting.
I hope they know that. I just hope they know that. The power of your name, the power of who you are, and the things that you could get away with, according to Dharma, not the law of the land.
Right.
According to Dharma, you have committed no wrong. None.
That's interesting to know that.
But I'm telling you,
never thought about him. I never think of it on that level.
Well, I'm telling people that for the first time. That's why I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about who I am. I'm very passionate about that because I know who I am. I know my lineage on both sides, mister. Going back hundreds of years, if not thousands,
Well, I can tell you that we are giving our listeners what they want and expect from a good radio program when it comes to sex education and, as a matter of fact, educating you as well. And it only happening right here on Power 2.1 FM with Sexologist Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Just to remind you once again that our lines are open. If you would love chatting with Dr. Raj, feel free. 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. I tell you, nobody does better. What we do best is sex education on a whole new level. 222-8255, 612-8255. Yeah.
So a lot of time, now, there are different ways of doing it. That's why being a man, you have a role and function as a man. You're the pillar in the house. The wife is the Lakshmi of the house. That's why Divali is very important for family life. Just as when you're getting married, again, you have to pay attention to these things. When you go to a Hindu wedding, the boy represents Lord Vishnu and the woman represents Mother Lakshmi. That is what you're transformed into on that day. And from there on, you have to maintain that home. Because she's the goddess of the home and you're the god of the home. Right? That's why your father-in-law does come and bow to you, you know. You don't bow to your father-in-law and your mother-in-law, you know. They bow to you, you know, mister. Because you're God. They're handing over their daughter to you, Kanyadan. That's why all these things in a Hindu wedding is very important and very significant. So it's the same thing as in a household. You have a role and function as a man. The woman, her role is not to be subservient to you, you know. Her role is to be equal to you in all things, but in some things she has to be less equal than you. And in some things you have to be less equal than her. For example, motherhood. You can't be equal to her in motherhood. How could you be?
No.
How could you be? She's bringing forth a child into the home. You can't do that. You're providing the sperm to create the child. You understand?
That is yeah.
So that's the depth at which a Hindu marriage ceremony goes. But many a times after you get married, you forget the vows that you have, because our vows are much different. You forget your role as a man, most Hindu boys, because all they study to do is drink rum, lime and run down Venezuelans. And they're studying the role of their life with their family, their home and their children. If they study that, thank God if they're not in the majority, they're in the minority. That is the one good thing about it. The true Sanatanist boy who becomes a man maintains that. That's why we would see our children, or we'll see our children through to the highest form of education, to marriage, and still be a father to our children and grandchildren. Because as a person, you are responsible for 2 generations before you and 2 generations after you. So it's 5 generations that you're responsible for. That's why the true man will take care of his mother and father or his grandparents, and so much so his grandchildren. And if he's lucky like my grandmother was, she saw her great-great-grand, not great, you know, great-great-grand, you know, held him in her arms. She saw her grandchild, son, child, you know.
Wow.
So she was lucky to go beyond 2 generations. She went 5, she went 4 generations beyond. She had that blessings of seeing that. But the true man will know his role and function is to make sure that they're all taken care of in one way or the other. I'm not just talking about financial and whatnot. I'm talking about education, taking them to temple, teaching them about Dharma, teaching them about their past, where they come from. That's why I tell you, if, like me, who spent time with my grandparents and whatnot, I learned all the things I needed to do about my bloodline. So I know my bloodline, how far it go back, where they came from, what state they came from, why they came to Trinidad, what happened, and so forth. So you will know those things. It's not important anymore to me because I didn't try to find my roots, because I don't have to find my roots. My roots is here. And that it teaches you that also. Once you have crossed the ocean and you have gone to another land, that's where your roots start. Because we are transients.
So basically what it is starting all over?
No.
Or
You're not starting all over, you're continuing, but here's your base now. Here is your base.
A new life.
A new life. This is your base. Where your grandparents are.
Okay, yeah.
So, you continue with that, and you act the role as a man, taking care of your wife, taking care of your children. Doesn't mean to say you will have manly desires. Which man don't have manly desires? Which man wouldn't see a woman and want to have sex with you? Or if he's bisexual, want to have sex with a man or a woman or whatever. That is the sexual side, but which man doesn't want to have money? There's some men who have money and they have, like somebody was telling me that they met this guy, he does financial advice to this person, and the person said, well, I have 12 houses, I need to have 15, I want 3 more. You think you're going to take one of those houses with you? But his ego wants him to have 15 houses, and in reality you could only maintain 1. It's the very same. Your ego will want you to have 2 wives and 3 wives, but physically, mentally, emotionally, logically, you could only maintain 1 home properly. I dare anybody who have 4 and 5 wives or 3 and 4 wives to tell me they maintain all properly, there's no strife, I dare anybody to say that. Now the man will say, yes, of course, we're taking care of everybody. Ask the woman, you'll hear a different story. Well, of course, if they're intimidated by the man and fearful of the man, you're not going to hear that. But in reality, you cannot give 100% to 2 homes. That cannot happen. And you're obliged to give 100% to your home. Not 50%. So the men who are not giving 100% to their homes are not living the life of a man. They're not. They're not doing what is necessary to make sure you take care of that home, your wife, your children.
Heavy stuff. No, you're really educating me here tonight, Things that you're saying there, I never look at it from that angle.
That's why this program is important, to open up people's mind on the true aspect of being a human being and being sexual. It's reality. It's reality. You have a responsibility. Now, of course, there comes a time when things doesn't work out for you, and you may have to go your separate way, just as Ram had to go his separate way with Sita. But he never remarried. He never had an outside woman. He never did that. Because his role and function was to be a good king. And to be a proper king to his society, although he banished his wife from the kingdom, right? Although he did that, he had to go and visit them, but he had to create something in order to visit them, because he couldn't just leave the kingdom and go and visit them either. So there was this whole play with a horse. And when he released this white horse into the streets, the 2 boys captured the horse and kept the horse, so the father had to come for it. That's why I tell you, people don't read the backstory. They only know what they are told, and like sheep in a pen that are guided by a sheepdog, they only allow what is said to them to register with them, as opposed to digging up and finding out more about it. And I don't feel sorry for them, and I don't respect them when they do that. That's why when a young Hindu boy or girl tell me, well, I don't know enough about my religion, I don't know enough about it, but I still make sure I go and seek as much information about it as possible. It's scientific, it is documented, and there's a book for everything that there is on this earth. There's a book on grass, There's a book on marijuana too, There's something on everything that there is, Oh.
Anyway, folks, taking over time, it's now 26 minutes before 11 o'clock. Very interesting program, I tell you. Taking sex education and educating you on a whole new level. And it's only happening right here on Power 2.1 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. I'll tell you what we are going to do at 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
You didn't know about those intricacies, eh? I said I didn't know about those intricacies.
Now, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very educational. Believe you I.
Introducing Izzo. News travels fast.
Very interesting.
In today's fast-paced world, access to accurate, up-to-date information 24/7 is essential to making critical decisions in your life. Izzo is the Caribbean's newest and most innovative news source, giving you a Caribbean perspective on politics,
You want to take this back off?
business, sport, entertainment, technology, and special investigative features. Izzo, IZZSO, Izzo, your information source, designed for your lifestyle. Download the Izzo app for iOS and Android devices, and visit our website at www.izzo.com. Izzo.
I know nobody complains since.
Optometrist today has an amazing offer this Diwali.
Call the security and
Purchase
ask.
complete spectacles and get a second
And she
pair
monitoring it out there?
absolutely free. Keep your free pair or
Yeah,
give it
Hold
to
us
a
before I
friend or
call you.
family member. Come into any of our 9 practices or call 223 today. Shop Diwali from
Hi family, how
today.
you going?
Conditions apply.
The station came up.
Power 102 FM Digital. With the Power 102
Find out if it's sounding better.
How it sounded?
Website Power 102 FM.
Oh, okay.
Campaign
Thanks, Dan.
1441.
You say something better.
So which means they did it.
To employ people in fiscal 2019, but it required a
I
requisite
don't think I'll call it because if I didn't
Power
call,
102 FM
nobody would have
Campaign
called.
14.
You like what Steve was telling?
24/7
Nobody would
access
have
to
called.
exclusive interviews.
Because given that things remain the same with the two ethnically based parties and so on, I think we'll be on that.
Power 102 Digital app, social media, and Power 102 FM.
They don't realize anything they ask Pandy. Once it is something against Kama, he will say something against you because she destroyed him.
Undermine professionals.
So if somebody destroy you, you will ever say anything good about him?
Of course, you must
Hello
be
God.
So you
But
mute
I
them.
saw his I saw his daughter open up Africa dying over there. You see how everybody having a party?
Yeah, let me open that. Sexplosion party.
You don't think I want to? This boy,
Yeah.
you really sing?
Yeah, of course. So we could open this Sexplosion party.
Yeah, well, I understand that thing. But one thing I can tell you is that when we have functions,
Everybody will come.
Everybody will come. Because we proved that with the one can tell you that no doubt about it, we are taking sex education where it has never been before. It's only happening on Power 2.1 FM, a station that's reliable and effective. Well, for those of you who would love to interact with Dr. Raj, just to remind you once again that our lines are open at 222-8255, also at 612-8255. You're listening to a program that's informative, it's educational, and of course entertaining, exclusively on your number one, all around the station.
Let me tell you when I tell you that thing that there's a book for everything. When Aristotle wanted to study philosophy, he went to India for his education. Came back to Greece and had all these philosophical thoughts. It was nothing new. He learned all that in India. When the Germans wanted to learn rocket science, they went to study it in India. Came back with all that rocket science. When Oppenheimer wanted to build the atomic bomb, where do you think he got it from? The Gita. And as a matter of fact, his words was from the Gita after the bomb exploded. And he used to give a Gita as a gift to all his friends. People don't recognize that because it is Hindu. So they put it aside. It's like when Obama used to walk around with Hanuman Chalisa in his pocket.
Yeah.
You know what black people don't like that? You know what people in Trinidad, you know what Christians don't like that? But he recognized the power of Lord Hanuman. Because he was a devotee of Hanuman. But they'll never recognize that. You'll never hear Christians say that he had the Hanuman Chalisa in his pocket. But it is no big deal for us because there's a book for everything. And everyone. So you don't have to be a Hindu to read it. So when Oppenheimer created the atomic bomb, he quoted from the Gita and he said, "Oh my God, I'm playing God."
But Dr. Raj, you know what amazes me? Why this education is not exposed?
It is exposed. When they wanted to learn mathematics, is India they went to learn mathematics? Where did the zero come from? India, Hinduism. If you don't have zero, where do you think computers came from? Binary system from India. The binary system, which is ones and zeros, is from India, in blocks of 8. How many persons studying computer, Christians studying computer, or Muslims studying computer know that it came from India? How many persons who does mathematics know that it comes from India? Why don't you throw that away? It came from Hindu. It came from Hindu. The concept of zero came from Hindu. Nothing else. When they say Arabic numerals, it's because the Arabs thieved it from India. That's why they call it the Arabic numerals. They stole it. They're a bunch of thieves. And that's a fact. This is historical fact, I'm not making up anything, They stole it from India and they said, this is ours. Aristotle went to India, he stole all the philosophy and come back and said, it's mine. You ever hear any Indian kick a fuss? If you say it's yours, it's yours. But the truth is there. You came by us and you got the information and you went and you give it to the rest of the world. Fine, no problem in that.
Well, I was always informed or know about the English.
The British, they stole trillions of dollars. They stole trillions of dollars from you. But forget that. Forget the money aspect. I'm talking about philosophy, religion, mathematics, science, trigonometry, you name it. It came from Hindu philosophy, not from India. Hindu philosophy. So if you want to condemn us Hindus, get rid of all of that. Are there any Christian or any Muslim or anybody out here to survive without mathematics and computers today? I dare them. I dare you.
So let us look from
that's what I'm telling you. There's a book for everything. There's philosophy for everything. There's philosophy how to live as a sannyas, and there's philosophy how to live as a drunkard. That's why they tell you if he's a thief, be a good thief, you'll never get caught, That is taught in Hinduism also. If you are a murderer, be a good murderer. And murder for the right reason. That's why it is said that a lie that is told to save a human being from death is worth more than 1,000 truth. Wait, before you go there, I want to read this. Good night, Doc. Great program. You're a hero to many. Forget them clowns. I'm a Christian and I know Jesus went to India during his years. Hinduism is the foundation. It is the oldest, Doc. My penis foreskin has started to rip during sex. I'm 50 years old. Circumcised and erection are pretty good. Any advice? Well, you have phimosis, so you need to have that treated. That's easily treated at the Adult Therapy Center. Call 645-4543 and we'll take care of that. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for holding and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Hello.
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 Dr. Raj.
Yes.
I have one question for you. The philosophy of the pyramid, the calculation, the daily pyramid, that come from India too?
I don't know, that came way after us. It didn't come before us.
It didn't come before?
No. Our philosophy goes back 1.1 over a million years, That come afterwards. So get your facts straight. Like somebody who come afterwards and do something. You didn't know that, eh? You didn't know that. All them things come afterwards. Idiot. People don't know that. That thing doesn't concern us. Nothing comes after us, we concern about that. All them things come after us. Our history goes back. Why? I wish somebody could just, with a passionate mind like I have, look at the facts.
Well, I know you're very passionate.
No, I wish they look at the facts. I know them things that come afterwards. There's somebody copying something. Anything that come after is a copy,
Well, look, of course,
Right. Or they do their own thing after, but it's after, way after, not before. Don't get tired, there's nothing before. Absolutely nothing before. We go back to the beginning of time, you know. And that's what people have to understand. Sanatan Dharma goes back to the beginning of time. We could tell you when time began and how it began. What they call the Big Bang Theory now, we're talking about that since God knows how long. We know about the Big Bang Theory before they even use the word Big Bang Theory. Because we don't call it a Big Bang Theory. No. That's the word that some white man will be put to it. But we're talking about that donkey years. Since time immemorial, Hindus talk about time immemorial. The beginning of time. And we could also tell you what existed before time existed.
Before time existed?
Our philosophy goes way back. So anything that comes afterwards is just afterwards. That's why people are so angry on Hinduism, because we could go back as far back as zillions of years. We have yugs, you know. No other philosophy on this planet or in any way have yugs, you know. We are in the age of Kali Yuga, you know, the Iron Age, the age of Kali, you know, Dark Ages. You know. Now we could tell you when it's going to end. We could tell you when it started. We have 4 ages, you know, and those 4 ages goes around in circles. Only not in circles. It's actually shaped like this. That's how it's shaped, and it goes around all the time. Right now we're in Kali Yuga again, not for the first time. Not for the first time. Not for the first time. And that's the beauty of understanding that. We are in Kali Yuga not for the first time. And there are scientists, Hindu scientists, who could tell you how many yugs have gone, how many Kali Yugas have gone already. That's why in the Hanuman Chalisa, which was written 400 years ago, they could give you the exact distance from the earth to the sun. No other person could do that, you know. No other religion on this earth could do that, you know. In the Hanuman Chalisa, that little book that Obama used to keep in his breast pocket, that little book there, give you the exact distance from the earth to the sun, you know. And the earth to the moon, you know. Exact distance.
Interesting.
Not missing by a mile. Exact distance.
To the point.
To the point.
Okay, we'll tell you what we are going to do. We're going to go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Okay, yes. Raj.
Yes, sir.
Where is you?
I do not control the board. I do not control the board. But I could tell them when to cut off. So I just tell Junior to cut you off. But I don't control the board. If I used to control the board, you stand a chance. As I hear your voice, I would have cut you off. But Junior will still give all you a chance. As I hear your voice, I would have cut him off. Yeah. But he feel like cut off the last guy hung up.
Yeah, the last guy hung up.
Yeah. Because when he heard the truth, he couldn't handle it. Yeah. That's the problem with people. When they hear the truth, they can't answer you afterwards. They cannot answer you, you know. When they hear the truth, they cannot answer you. Because they're confused now. Because they were taught one thing, or they're programmed to think one thing, and suddenly you're hearing the truth, and there's no defense. You have no defense. So what are you going to do? Hang up the phone?
Anyway, folks, taking more time. It's now 10 minutes before 11 o'clock. I tell you, this is what it's all about on a Friday.
10 minutes already?
Yeah. Right here on Pound 2.1 FM, Sexplosion, with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj, our total image and the adult therapy center, which is located out in St. Augustine, Our lines are open. If you would love interacting with him on a one-on-one basis, feel free at 222-8255, 612-8255. You are listening to a program that deals with sex, love, and relationships exclusively on Power 2 FM.
But the hatred has been so perpetuated against Hindus for millennia.
But why is this? Is there jealousy or...
Jealousy? It has to be jealousy. That is all. It has been perpetuated for thousands of years. Everyone tried to subjugate India. Remember, you have a society, you have a culture and a society that has existed since the beginning of time, that has never invaded another country. Never invaded another country.
Never, you say,
Never. Never. Ever. You know how strict that rule is? Let me tell you how strict that rule is. In India, between India and Pakistan, there's something called the LOC. It's an imaginary line, but everybody knows where that line is. LOC, line of control, between India and Pakistan. You have the Pakistan side and you have the India side. During the Kargil war, when India put the cutters on Pakistan for the 5th time, when they reached the LOC and the soldiers wanted to go into Pakistan, you know what the generals and captains and things were telling them? That is Pakistan, you cannot enter. Although they put in a cutters on them. Cannot cross that line. And it's an imaginary line. Imaginary line. That's how strict they are with that rule.
Wow.
You do not invade another country, even though that country has invaded you. You don't. That is what you call Sanatan Dharma.
Wow.
That is Dharma at its highest. Which country could ever boast of that? Name one country that could ever boast of that.
You can't call anyone in particular.
Not a single country can boast of that. I'm talking about big countries. I'm not talking about little islands. We have a troop to invade anybody. I'm not talking about that.
Because you have to remember the chicken.
Yeah, you want to take Trinidad never invade anybody. It's true.
Yeah.
We not that kind of people.
Yeah.
But that's the philosophy of Sanatan Dharma. The LOC is the LOC. You do not cross that. So, this type of philosophy, there's a jealousy of it. That is why Modi is the greatest Prime Minister India. He's the only Indian Prime Minister India has ever had. And when they ask people, why do you say that? They say, well, he was born and bred in India. He never went to Oxford or England to study. He's the only Indian Prime Minister that was born and bred in India. And he knows everything about India. But, again, that is where our philosophy comes and we are proud of that. There's nothing wrong in being proud of who you are and where you come from. But as I said, for me personally, I hold on to being a Trinidadian. I hold on to that, but the fact is my roots or my foundation is solid. It's not a shaky foundation that I don't know. And thank God, my foreparents didn't succumb to the Mughals, the invaders, the Islamic invaders of India, or the British who invaded India to convert and whatnot and remain who they were. Every single one of them. Not one in our lineage ever converted in our stuff. Ever, you know?
Never.
And I ain't going to be the first one. Good night. Do you all still offer the FAMOS program? Of course we do. Hope I have the name spelled right. Yes, I'm 44 and have no chronic condition. Thanks. Yes, we do. So we have the FAMOS penis enhancement system. So my friend, how many more minutes? Oh yeah, we still have time, boy.
We have time to burn.
We have time to burn.
I was looking forward for your friend who usually call.
Which one of them? I have plenty friends here.
Momature, he speaks a lot about the history of India.
Oh.
You know I'm speaking of?
Yeah. Oh, he's the one who told me about the Ram Leela thing. And when I mentioned it to my mother and father, my mother reminded me that it was the first time my father ever saw Ram Leela. But she knew of it because of the village that she came from.
Oh.
And she reminded him, she said, remember I told you let's go to it. And he said, you know nothing about that.
Yeah. Okay, maybe you heard me. Hello.
I think the lady is Mrs. Babulal, he said?
Babulal, yeah.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
How do you
You're getting smart. I see you have decided to. Yes, Junior, you're good. I see Checky's on.
Checky's on?
Yeah, Janelle, Anthony, Gloria, Jenny, Dolly, Shira, Ricardo, Gloria, Abby. Those are some of the people who are on, so say a special good evening to you.
Anyway, folks, taking return, it's now 5 minutes before 11 o'clock, and I can tell you, sex education to a whole new level. Nobody does better, and hoping you're having a great time. And for those of you who are listening for the first time, you can tune in to Sexplosion every Friday evening, right here on Power 2.1 FM with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj Ramadan of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Well, we've still got a couple of minutes in which you can interact with Dr. Raj. Feel free at 222-8255, 612-8255. Yeah.
So, we've almost reached the end of our program, so I want to extend to the community of Trinidad and Tobago, all Trinbagonians, happy and holy Diwali. For those of you who are visiting your Hindu brothers and sisters, because it's an open time for anyone to visit any Hindu home.
Yeah.
Hindus don't leave their home. As a matter of fact, my father lives not too far from me, and I would not leave my home to go and visit my parents, because you are expected to be at home because people are visiting your home. So we don't go to our.
So this is the reason.
That's the reason why we don't leave.
Really.
We don't leave and go to our family. If you notice, when you come by us, no family member is ever there.
No.
Because you are expected to stay in your home and welcome those who come to your home.
Oh, okay. You know, I always meant to ask you that.
Yeah. You
One
can't.
is-
You don't. It's not a family celebration. It's a celebration for you and your immediate family, mean your wife and your children, or your husband and your children, to light up your home, do your puja or whatever you have to do. And we had a very good program, and Stanley Augustus did a very good job in explaining what Diwali is all about and whatnot. Goddess Lakshmi, and you do your puja and you light your diya and you invite your friends to come and partake of meals. There's no alcohol and there's no meat. So if you go with the expectation of having alcohol or meat, that's not going to happen. So please don't look for that at any Hindu home. Any true Hindu home. It's not a festival or a feast for meat and alcohol. And it's a time to reflect and have your good friends around and people who you consider, and even strangers could come by your home that day. Right? And you treat everyone equally and you make sure you take care of them.
And I would really miss not coming by you this year.
Why you not coming? You could still come.
I have commitment.
Come in the afternoon and then come back and do your program.
Now I'm starting from 5.
Well, leave the program, put something on, nobody will miss you. Nobody would, I'm telling you, because everybody will be celebrating Diwali. You run some tracks and you leave it and you're gone. The station won't miss you. Yeah, because all of them, all management and everybody going by somebody's house and and having some eat and sit down with your friends and have a nice
But I know
time.
anytime I know for the times that I've visited you in the past, I really enjoy the atmosphere. And I'll tell you something, even though I'm a Roman Catholic, I get that light feeling.
It is a very light feeling that you get, and it is open to all. It's not.
You know, the thing about it is when you're visiting a Hindu family on an ordinary basis, you have a welcome feeling. But when it comes to
Diwali, it's a very special time. Because it's an auspicious time. And in a Hindu home, your guest is a king. That's why when your guests come, you make sure they drink something. That's why when you go to a Hindu home, you must eat or drink something. You must. If you don't, it's an insult.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why the first thing they offer is a glass of water. That's traditional. That's who we are. If we cook food, they'll offer you a meal. They'll offer you something, and when you're leaving, they'll give you something to leave with.
Yeah. Well, I know they usually give you these bars with the
mitai, they call it.
What do you call it?
Sweet meat, sweets.
Yeah,
Mitai.
Yeah,
But that's what.
I love that tradition.
Yeah. but that's part of the tradition and you have to respect that. So even as Hindus, if I go next door to my neighbor, although we have the very same thing home, they'll give me a bag to take home. And when I'm going to visit them, I'll take a bag from home by me and carry by them. But they have the very same thing.
Yeah.
But that's not given to anybody else. If I carry a bag by my neighbor, they keep that for themselves.
Okay.
And they give out what they have. So there's a way that we do things. And we don't, some people say, I don't want no parasat because we pray over it. But everybody's supposed to pray over the food and offer it to God first before they partake.
Oh, okay.
And yes, we pray over everything because we offer it to God first. And the way you offer things to God is through the fire. Because once you burn it, it goes to the atmosphere. It turns back into the 5 elements. It's as simple as that. It's very scientific. Hinduism is very scientific. The reason why you take a bit of all the food and you burn it in fire is because it goes back to the 5 elements. Everything on this earth is made up of the 5 elements.
Yeah.
Earth, fire, water, air, and ether. Ether is nothingness. You have nothingness inside of you. The space between your brain and your nose is nothingness. The space between here is nothingness. Not air, nothingness. Ether. So the 5 elements goes back to the atmosphere, so it comes like you send it back to God. So when people say, I don't eat parasat because you pray over it, I'm like, well, apparently you don't pray.
Interesting.
So, no, seriously, it is so funny when people tell you things. They say, well, I don't like your parasat, but give me the barfi and the kurma. But we offer that to the fire too. You didn't know that? Everything Hindus do, they offer it to the fire. Because that's what we do. The food goes to the fire that goes to the atmosphere.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. We have a call on the line. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion.
Hello, one thing.
Yeah, so once you understand that concept, there are persons who, because of their upbringing and ignorance, will tell you they don't want to partake. That's fine. Don't you say grace before me? Why do you say grace before me?
It's a blessing and it's a thanksgiving.
No, you're thanking the Lord for a meal.
Yeah.
Well, we do the very same thing. That's what we do. We're thanking the Lord for giving us the opportunity to have food on our table. The only thing that we give him back a little bit. No, we give him back a little bit. Or her. That's what we do. It's given back. Okay. In Hindu philosophy, states that whoever offer to me a flower, a fruit, a leaf, or a drop of water with love, I accept the Lord. Because you can't give the Lord anything. The Lord has made everything, correct?
Right. Yeah.
So whoever offers to the Lord with love any one of those things, or all, he accepts. Thank you. That's the power of the philosophy.
Yep.
So when ignorant people say that I don't do this and I don't do that, you are disrespecting your own when you say that. And you don't even realize it. Or when they say you worship an idol. So Christ on a cross is not a representation of Christ. We have our representation of what we see God as being. Mother Mary in a church is not a representation of God. We consider as an idol, but we'll never say that. We know that's a murti. And there is no English word equivalent to a murti. A murti is something that has the reflection of God within it. That's why when a Christian wear a cross around their neck, that has a significance to that Christian, isn't that so?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is revered.
Yeah.
So when a Hindu has a deity on their car dashboard or on their chest, a Om, that has a significance to us too. It is not an idol.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
We don't worship idols. We worship a representation of God. And one thing I want to ask all Christians, the first commandment is, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Isn't that endorsement that there are other gods?
Well, basically that statement
That's what it says, It doesn't say anything else, It didn't say thou shalt not have no other representation of God other than me, Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's a Christian philosophy. So there's a Christian God and there's a Hindu God.
Yeah.
Isn't that so? That's the first commandment. Those are the words of the first commandment. I didn't read it wrong. I don't think I ever read it wrong. So if God is telling you that there should be no other, in Hinduism we tell you there's many gods. Whichever one you want to pray to, pray. We don't tell you don't take one before the other. Lord Shiva never say pray to me alone. And he's the Father. Like we have the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
He's the Father. And you have the other two, Vishnu and Brahma. But nobody's allowed to pray to Brahma. Ask any Hindu why. And most of them can't tell you why. No Hindu is allowed to pray to Brahma.
We have a call on the line. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion.
Okay. Well, no, I'm going to be Chinese, but I'm not really jealous one.
Well, that means to say there are other gods.
You have other gods, but he made them.
No. He never said that. He never said that. That was never said. Don't put in something else. No. He never said that. You tell me where that is said.
Right?
If the first commandment says there shall be no other God, if you feel you're cut off, that's your business,
No, you should be asking anything. Left hand, God says, I God.